Pan. Welcome to my enterprise notebook. Today I'd like to talk a bit more about live selling. Okay, so in the context of Singapore, with the success of Wang Lei, so Wang Lei is a very famous comedian in Singapore. So he has made a very smooth and I would like to say explosive transition into live selling during this COVID period. And many people here seeing the success of Wang Lei are in a gold rush. So, but I would like to mention that he is but one out of a handful of success stories in the live selling space. Most live sellers are struggling here, and even established celebrities who are moving into this space are finding it very hard to break more than 100 viewers at any single moment. So, does this mean that live selling is still viable? For one, I would say one thing, the technology is lacking. So it is still very unreliable for both sellers and users alike. So it is not a good experience for sellers and users. And from this, we can see that live selling will not disrupt traditional e-commerce anytime soon. Okay. So the next question is that will live selling be viable in the future? For this question, we have to look into whether live selling has the characteristics of being a disruptive innovation. So what is a disruptive innovation? So disruption is a process by which a smaller company with fewer resources can successfully challenge established incumbents. So as incumbents focus on improving their products and services for their most profitable customer segments, they lose focus on the less as profitable ones. So new entrants can target these overlooked segments at a lower price or at a more suitable functionality, and then entrants with a foothold in this market starts to move up market and successfully start to move up market with performance improvements. And when the mainstream customers start to adopt all these entrants en masse, it is when disruptive innovation has occurred. So let's put live selling through this lens of disruptive innovation and see whether it has this kind of characteristics. Okay, let's look past Wang Lei, okay, who is able to move very high-end products, but he's like really one of a handful. So many live sellers today are the equivalent of street peddlers selling very cheap, very low quality, or sometimes even fake products. Many incumbents today do not register these live sellers as a credible threat, okay, and they are not doing much to combat them. So in this regard, the first characteristic of disruptive innovation is checked. Yes, it fits the first characteristic. So next is whether this entrants can successfully move up market with performance improvements. So this is still way too early to tell. Technology in the live selling space is still very nascent. Facebook is currently the main platform for doing live selling in Singapore, but they do not have their own product to support live selling. So third-party software is doing all the work to support live selling in terms of customer logins, in terms of payment, in terms of operations, okay, in terms of like receipts and all these things. So even if Facebook can come up with its own live selling product to serve this segment of the market, this technology is still so early stage that there's no guarantee that Facebook might even be the platform to bring live selling forward. But in any case, I do believe that the chance for disruption is very high. Taobao and Alibaba by association is pioneering some very good live selling technology in China. And if live selling is to disrupt e-commerce, traditional e-commerce, I do believe that it will start in China or in places with a very heavy Chinese presence. Live selling in this form is still very heavily frowned upon by countries in the West, most probably due to cultural differences. I'm not too sure as well. But if this disruptive innovation is to come true, what can we do? Okay, what can our businesses do to capitalize? we can continue to learn and invest in live selling, but I would like to caution, do not stake the future of your business or your company on live selling, okay? Because the technology is still too nascent really to tell. And even if it might disrupt, it might be 10, 20 years later. So the timeline might not be viable, okay, for the sustainability of your business for the long term. So what I can suggest is to continue to gain brand equity and momentum in the live selling space, okay? In the end, okay, live selling might never disrupt e-commerce, okay, we don't know. But however, in the small chance that it might, okay, you will reap rewards for many years to come if your businesses are prepared to capitalize. So with this, my name is Pan, okay, I'll expound on this more in future videos, but now you're watching my enterprise notebook, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow. Bye bye.